We're here with Heather Breggen, Weyburn artist who is in artist in residence in Parrsboro, Nova Scotia. Heather, tell us about this plein air technique that you were trying out the other day.
That's about maybe 25 minutes of sitting out there. And, you know, by the time, like, I'm working on one of those little shacks, and then I go to work on the next one, and I look back at the other building, and it's already in the shade. Like, it's like power paint, hurry up, just slap the color on. And a lot of them, I didn't realize this, but there's a lot of plein air painters here. And a lot of them, they just get their color notes down out there in the field, and then they work in the studio to complete. And I didn't know that. Anyway, this is a town of only 900 people, and the art community is unbelievable. It's just amazing. There's an art lab, and they have like resident people that live here. Artists have studio space there and classroom space and whatnot. And then there's, that's all part of Parrsboro Creative. And then there's a fellow that looks after all the workshops and whatnot. And they're trying to put Canada on the map for plein air here. You know, people go down to the States and all over the world to paint amazing outdoor scenery. And they have outdoor amazing scenery here. So they're really pumping that up. So they're, you know, was courses going on while I was here with plein air, and so I met some of the artists. And so then one of them drugged me out there last night, and it was really interesting and fun. But you know, I'm not gonna. I don't think that's a way I'm gonna go. I kind of like to work in my nightgown in a nice warm studio, or no bug studio, or not too hot studio.
So it seems this community is actually quite focused on plein air painting.
They are trying to become known for that. Like, they're holding not only workshops, but competitions here. They just had a big competition here before I came, plein air competition. And one of the artists in residency that was here right before me, like, you know, he left when I came, kind of thing. We had 2 days that overlapped. And he's from Maine, like an established plein air painter. Amazing. And he was saying, like, he was just blown away that this was here, and he's only in Maine. So, you know, they need to find out about it. So that's what they're doing, is promoting it like crazy. And so they're really super active. It's a really cute little town. And like I say, small town, but the creative edge is amazing.
So you've tried the plein air. Is this something that you went there to learn about?
I'm actually staying in a house with a plein air painter, another artist in residence. And so I'm going to get her to take me out again for sure, because she's got the tips, right?
Yeah.
What the wind blows, and, you know, it's different. It's just so different than sitting in the studio. And I had great plans to do that when I moved to Weyburn, but I'm kind of fair weather, and it's, you know, either it's too hot for me, or it's too cold, or it's too windy, or
mosquitoes,
too dirty, or,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But here, even though we were right down, like, near the ocean, it wasn't too windy, wasn't too buggy until the sun actually set. They still have mosquitoes here.
So this almost seems like something you could teach here in Weyburn. Is there anything else we should know about plein air painting, even if we want to try it now?
It's not about the detail. It's just to kind of get the, you know, put your interpretation of color, and you pick. I mean, you could have 15 people out at the same scene, and nobody's going to be the same, because, you know, you're all looking at things from a different angle, and you choose different things. There was actually 2 houses in that shed in that scene, and the painter that I went with painted all 3 of them in. And from her angle, there was islands in the out in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And so she painted in the islands too. But like when I looked at it, I was like, okay, that's too much stuff for me. I don't like it to be quite so busy. So I went and sat where I narrowed it down to just 2 buildings and just that cove, right? Not the whole ocean in the background with the islands. There's actually 7 islands out beyond that cove. I mean, I'm always saying that you can even, you can take one photograph and you could paint one photograph over and over and over by cropping it differently. And it's the same sort of thing. You could sit in one spot and look at it in so many different ways. Like I looked at that, like it's like looking at clouds, and I highlighted some of the things. Not that that's the only thing I saw, but the things I chose to highlight were the things I chose to highlight, right? But there's so many images that could be done with one of those, right?
Yeah. No
And so it's all saying the same thing to me.
So what are you working on now?
Well, at the moment, I'm working on 2 paintings, and one is of actually they're both at the same beach that I went. First one is I went there by myself, and it's down this little. I had asked for somewhere. I didn't want to go. Everybody goes to the same harbors and stuff, and the same boats, and kind of the same lighthouse or whatever, the same cliffs. And I said, I was talking to one of the locals, and I said, I want to go to a beach where there's nothing, like where it's just the beach. And so I'm doing a sunset, and that beach, the beach is made up of like slate rocks. In fact, I want to bring a bag of rocks home. Good heavens. We're such freaks about rocks. Anyways, they're like smooth black. So when the water hits that slate, it's a black beach. And so at sunset, it was outstanding. So I'm working on a sunset painting of this black beach. And so I was out there by myself and had to go through 2 big puddles to get down to the beach, like with my car. And one actually was a running little brook going across the road. And once I got through that, I kind of went over a little rise, and there I was on the beach, and I was the only person. And the interesting thing for me is that I didn't realize how foresty it is here, because I'm standing on the beach, and behind me it's like thick forest.
Wow.
And so I got a little bit like weirded out.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh my God. And my cell phone was dead, and I thought, okay, here I am.
Horror
by
movie.
myself. I'm not really sure even where I am.
Yeah.
And so anyways, but I'm doing a painting of that. And then I have a friend who lives close to here. And actually, she's the one how I found out about this place, because she's a weaver and a felter and comes down here for workshops and stuff. And she told me about the artist in residence. So she came down a couple of days ago, and I took her out to that beach, and she's got long red hair. And so I said to her, bring a shawl with you. And so I took a picture of her walking on that black beach, and, the wind was blowing her long red hair in this shawl. And so I'm doing a large painting, 24 by 36, which everybody is just like, there's not an artist in residency that's done even at 12 by 24. They work small, because then they can complete it. I never even thought of that, right? I've got all these big canvases. But whatever. I don't care about the show and selling. Like, that's not my intention of being here, is to come and show and sell. I mean, that would be great, but I wanted to come and just experience it,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Heather.